Webbot, I've got another hit. Didn't mean to make you cry, but that fire on the cruise ship was rising high. Webbot, I've got another hit. Listen, breaking news. Mainstream media, it's everywhere. Breaking news. Cruise ship near Puerto Rico catches fire. 500 people and 7 pets evacuated. This is a black and white copy, or print. Give you a little idea what we got going on here. I'll say it again. This is a pristine, phenomenal example of why I love Cliff High and his Webbot. Remember the old song, the old Bill Nye the Science Guy? How about Cliff High the Webbot guy? I'm gonna start a little above where it actually talks about the cruise ship, but this is page 4 of the most recent Webbot report, which was released very early this month. Now, as you know, we are past halfway through the month. Webbot report data is compiled before it's released, obviously, many times weeks in advance. So really the data I'm reading you, in theory, should be from July, even though the report's finalized and released, I think, August 2nd. So being that we are 2.5, 3 weeks, whatever, past the time, or actually about 3 weeks into it, past the time that this Webbot report was released, and compiled and released, I want to know, go ahead, the most hardcore skeptics of this Webbot, I want you, Uncle Sam wants you to reply. How? And I haven't even read it to you yet, but I'll get to that in a second. How in the hell did this freaking Webbot know there's going to be a fire on a cruise ship in the future and it would make breaking news? Are you ready for this? Again, I'm going to start a little above where it starts, okay? Data sets growing in supporting positions to surprise encounter are filled with subsea survey and oceanographic representation and analysis and exposure. All of these are focusing on the surprise encounter between global pop and the subset inhabitants. I think he meant subsea inhabitants. While there are huge levels of cross-links over to the Space Goats Farts entity, where termination is all over the place, from unknown to officially denied to what the F, the primary supporting cross-links are more sobering and are internal in global pop or over to the powers that be entity. Again, we see that there are links between the results of the subsea survey and the Caribbean mummy shipwreck discovery, which has not happened yet. But these new surprise encounter sets are appearing in other areas of ocean activities that affect global pop. The data sets are suggesting that the results of the oceanographic survey will be very revealing and will cause a viral discussion about what is going on down there, meaning subsea. We still have growing forecasts for a very dramatic cruise ship rescue involving lots of smoke, wailing people, helicopters, heaving waters, and much more drama. These rescue forecasts for this cruise ship are now starting to include some of the details about rampaging disease and disabled crew members and overflowing septic systems and polluted water and failed systems on the boat, and many other such phrases indicating that the only part of this memory fondly considered will be having survived the trip. I think a cruise ship on fire would leave a memory of surviving that encounter long-lasting. The way the data sets are describing this language, the underlying event should be well reported in real time with lots of coverage. You know where that picture was I just gave you? Mainstream media, CNBC. It's on CBS, it's on ABC, it's everywhere. The data is growing in our shorter term types, pointing toward a maritime disaster. This disaster is apparently a sister to the one we have already experienced, at least so far as model space dates. This sisterhood with a previous nautical debacle is what is described as precipitating the disaster part of the soon-to-be-seen drama. The drama component is its own part of the story, as apparently this disaster will take months and months to play itself out. The drama description contains wording about the movement after the disaster as being just as entertaining as the disaster drama itself. These maritime disaster sets have been very prescient in our past work. Again, we have repeated lexical sets within the larger group for a mess of a ship disaster with much damage, distraught tourists, management freaking out, caught on video, striking someone, ? And other language going to the idea of a self-compounding problem once the initial screw-up happens. Some of the many, many side effects forecast to be arising from the sinking of this ship include huge levels of insurance and banking problems. These insurance claims and banking woes come as a result of the trauma of the drama. Now, this is interesting because I read you the first part, and then there's a second part, and it says, which I just read, the data is growing in our shorter term types pointing toward a maritime disaster. This disaster is apparently a sister to one we have already experienced, at least so far as model space dates. So, is this event that just happened the sister event to the one that's already happened in the past? We've already had some cruise ship issues in the past, and as he said, where is that? We have repeated lexical sets with larger... Yeah, these maritime disaster sets have been very prescient in our past work. Yes, they have. Webbot has nailed some major cruise ship disasters before they have happened. Unbelievably. So here's another one. I mean, that first paragraph. Let me read it to you again. We still have growing forecasts for a very dramatic cruise ship rescue involving lots of smoke, wailing people, helicopters, heaving waters, and much more drama. These rescue forecasts for the cruise ship are now starting to include some of the details about rampaging disease and disabled crew members, and overflowing septic systems and polluted water and failed systems on the boat, and many other such phrases indicating that the only part of this memory fondly considered will be having survived the trip. Would that not be your memory? Oh my God, I'm here with my wife, my kids, the cruise ship's on fire, oh my God, what do we do? 500 people rescued, pets, animals rescued, whatever. Cruise ship on fire. Web bot hit. Double stamp of approval. Cha-ching. Realist News. Take care.